Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time. I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman, and I'm here with the three best friends anyone could ever have, starting with the auspicious Austin Bell. How you doing tonight, Austin?
Good, man. I was hoping to be the main man again. Like, 1 week live is, I guess I'll take it. So
yeah,
I'm a little not as good as I was before the show, now that I know I'm not a main man.
But you're auspicious.
I'm auspicious, so I'll take it. How are you?
I'm great, man. Thank you for asking. We're going to keep it rolling, so I'm just going to... That's the theme tonight. We're keeping it rolling. I'm gonna take it to my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
This is my kind of show. Good.
Right
yeah,
on.
that is. The Chad analysis is already out.
And Major Mike Casper, how you doing tonight, Mike?
Great.
All right, and good show, guys. See you later.
Good show. This is the trade deadline spectacular. Oh, I guess that'll be the title. I put special on the live, but it's going to be the spectacular. Oh no, we had a spectacular earlier.
No, let's
special.
Let's save the judgment to the end. We'll decide if it's
okay. Yeah, we'll see if it's special or spectacular.
Or E.
Yeah. Or just the trade deadline show.
The show.
The show.
All right.
We'll make it vanilla.
Mike, why don't you tell these people where they can find us when we're not podcasting?
Should I do it at 2 times speed? All right. YouTube and Facebook, Dynasty Front Office. Twitter, X at Front Office FF. Discord, link in the description. We'll be here every Thursday, followed by the pod release on Fridays. Please like and subscribe. Listener League is active. We have shirts for year one players on the way, so join the Discord and become part of the family. In this episode, we're bringing you the trade banger of the week, trade deadline, and a little pop culture fun.
Mike, did you happen to take the same class Jesse did last week for the auctioneer?
No, it just
That was
comes
pretty
naturally.
Good. That was,
that was damn good.
It's because I listen to all my podcasts on like 2 or 3 speeds. So.
Oh, you're psychotic. I can't believe you do that.
You just have to go a little bit at a time. I'm telling you, you'll get used to it.
Jesse's on.
I now watch my YouTube videos on like 2 speed too. But I'm sure Jesse, are you on like 0.5 speed for?
Yeah, he just went up from half speed to 0.75. He's graduated.
I do full speed, but I rewind quite a bit.
You mean regular speed? I do ludicrous mode.
He's like, I watch everything at 1, but I have to watch it 3 times.
That's right. All right, Chad, you got our banger?
Yeah, of course, man. All right, this is the trade banger of the week. The one deal that's too good, too bad, or just too wild not to talk about. If you've got a trade that shook up your league, send it our way. It just might be next week's banger. All right, well, this week's trade banger is one of those deals. It makes everyone stop for a second. I like this trade a lot. It's pretty interesting. 3 players that I think are pretty exciting by themselves. So put them together in a trade. It's kind of league stopping here. But we got Justin Jefferson and Cam Scatabo for Jackson Smith-Njigba. I'll give you guys a little bit of context here on the trade. The manager trading for Justin Jefferson and Cam Scatabo, just trying to stay alive, right? Scatabo out injured. He was giving you a ton of points before he went down. Justin Jefferson, he is JJ, but he's got the other JJ. It's kind of stealing from him a little bit, or 9. I don't know which one we're talking about here, but yeah, Justin Jefferson's been a little disappointing, right? The guy that is giving up Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's just now realizing maybe he's not the contender he thought he was. He's going to kick it off to next year. So he's getting Cam Scatabo. He's getting Justin Jefferson, hoping the revival of Justin Jefferson happens next year. Cam Scatabo comes back strong. He can give him those points that we're missing this year. And also, he's selling high, right? Even though Jackson Smith-Njigba's a young player, you know, this could be peak, right? This, who's to say at this point? His value's pretty inflated. Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'll go right into the questions for you guys. On this one, Cam Scatterbo, I think that's the kind of the most interesting piece, the most, the piece that you can argue the most on here, or we can see two different sides of it pretty easily. Austin, are you scared about the injury? Are you nervous about it? I know Godwin had a similar one. Maybe this one's not as bad as the Godwin injury, but we've seen some kind of setbacks there with him. So what's your thoughts on that?
It's not as just the injury for me, but yes, the injury does scare me. Anytime you see that kind of injury, you never know if the player comes back the same. The one positive is he didn't rely on his quick burst athleticism to do what he did. But he is the type of runner that's going to need his ligaments and joints and stuff to stay strong because he is extremely violent. So, I mean, it does worry you, but there's other worries outside of just the injury for me.
Tell us a little bit about the worries and where you're kind of valuing him at currently right now.
I mean, the main one for me is I don't know what the situation in New York is going to look like next year. So I don't know what his role is going to be. I'm assuming, given what the Giants have done surrounding him already and, the fandom there, he's going to have some kind of role, but I just don't know what that role is. So I don't know how to gauge his value for next season, much less the health side of things. So for value, I mean, it's roughly like a mid to late 26 first is where I would be at. Like I'm not selling him for a bottom 3 first. But if somebody's got one that's a borderline like that 6 pick, I would probably go ahead and move off of him and re-roll for a guy that I'm going to assume is healthy when I draft him.
Yeah, I agree there. I think I'm pretty comfortable with him being my RB2 next season once he's healthy. If I'm a competing roster, how do you guys feel about it, Jesse and Mike? Jesse, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it makes sense for both teams.
No, I mean Cam Scatterbo specifically.
Sorry, Cam Scatterbo specifically. Very difficult for me to gauge. I don't know if I want to add to him. Well, I definitely do want to add to him. If, like, in a perfect world, add to him to get to a running back that I do trust. I don't know. I guess part of it is that, like, I feel like his celebrity is going to make him a player in the league in some way. I don't know. It just feels like that gives him some sort of leg to stand on. Tracy looked decent last week. He looked a little more direct, but he just sort of comes and goes. I don't think he's a real threat to Scatterbo, but
Tracy was the best player on the team last week by far. Like not even close.
Yeah, but he didn't look like that earlier in the year, and there's times that he looked like that last year. Oh, okay. But there's times that he bounces too much. He's not direct. Like Devin Singletary looked like the better player the week before. So I don't. Also, anything is on the table for the Giants, so they could absolutely draft another running back that's better than either one of them.
No, I don't think we see. I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. There's a little bit of question marks there as far as the Giants' backfield goes.
There's question marks. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I think he's actually a very good player. His style of play is going to lead to this happening quite a bit. So is that a ride I really want to take on my Dynasty team? No, but his value is low now that he's hurt. So if I buy low and plan to sell, when he comes back and starts scoring points, then yeah, maybe I do that. But he's not like a guy that I plan to, like, this is a cornerstone of my roster, or this is a guy I need to keep, or anything like that.
Yeah, makes sense. Mike, how are you? Where are you valuing him at?
Yeah, I agree with Austin. Kind of the value is the late first. Honestly, if I were getting him, I would try to probably sell or tier up next season when the hype comes back. Because I am a little bit worried about, kind of the reckless play. I think he's great when he does it. I'd say the injury scares me more than the role. Is kind of what I feel like. I think he'll have a role one way or another. I don't see them investing in another running back that'd be the third season in a row with how many other needs they have across the team, right? So I don't think they'd put it in a running back again. So he'll definitely have a role. I like him, but I'd honestly probably try to move off him. I think we're kind of seeing his role right now. He's gonna.
I think he's going to adopt the Devin Singletary rule, where he's going to see probably 50% of the snaps, maybe a little bit more. But Tracy's going to get a lot of the play up until, they get closer to the red zone, and then we see Scatterbo come in. But yeah, I think it's pretty much going to be a split. They're both really good players. I think they're pretty comparable to each other, but Cam Scatterbo is just the more exciting player, which for Dynasty, in my view, makes him more a safer asset to have, just because the Dynasty community is going to be more excited about him. Like Mike's saying, before he comes back. So that's one thing that I'm happy about, if I can get Cam Scatterbo cheaper than let's say this trade is insinuating, because I still think, I think this trade is pretty fair, but it's one of those things where I think people are going to have his value in several different places, just depending on what kind of league you're in, who you're talking to, and how they're feeling that that day. Right. So
let me ask you, have you heard anything on the severity of the injury and like when he'll be able to come back?
Yeah, it was like best case scenario. Like the injuries, they're saying he's going to be ready for week 1. So it's it's not as bad as they were thinking it was going to be. Everything looks really good. Good compared to the alternatives, right? So definitely not anywhere near what happened with Godwin. There was no severe ligament damage or anything like that. They just, they've got him, in the boot, and it's just healing. So surgery went well and everything.
All right. Well, that takes some of the questions out of my mind. Would I pay there's no scenario where I would just take a contenders first and pay it for Cam Scatterbo right now. But I can agree with valuing him that in a trade. Valuing him at that level.
Yeah. As far as like the trade itself, I think I'll take the Justin Jefferson side. And I'll say that just because right now, like if I'm not I'll say top 3, but I would almost say like top 2 team, I don't think I'm making this trade for JSN. If I am there, like obviously JSN's getting it now. If you're going hard for the ship, like do it. You do you. Like Chad said, I think it's a fair trade. But at the end of the day, like if Jefferson gets a little bit better QB play next year, the difference between him and JSN on a weekly basis could be a lot smaller. Plus you have a running back that could be a high-end RB2, maybe low-end RB1, or like we talked about, maybe trading him to tier up to someone else just really adds to the position, because a lot of us are in like, 9 or 10 or 11 deep starters where depth is important. So if I can always get another piece on top and there's not a massive difference in production, then I'll take it.
Well, I think that's a no-brainer if you're talking about it in a vacuum. But I think that's the only way we can even talk about this trade, is if you have to approach it from the team getting JSN is a first or second place team.
That's why I'm saying it's not a vacuum.
In a dogfight. That's the only. Yeah, but I'm saying that's the only way we can even discuss it. Like there's no other way that you would even think about doing this. You have to have that pressure of, this guy is breathing down my neck. I'm in a dogfight. I have to do something. Do I give up this hurt player on my IR and an elite player that's not producing for an elite player that is producing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it just depends on how scared somebody is of JJ McCarthy, right? Like if somebody thinks that, hey, the offense just has no answer at quarterback, Justin Jefferson is 26 years old, going to be 27 years old next year. Some people do have JSN as their wide receiver 1 or 2. Like he's been that good this season. There are those people out there. So I can see somebody, even outside the 1 or 2 top teams saying, you know what, like, I don't know what Cam Scatterbo is going to be in the future. Injury was pretty gruesome, visually. Justin Jefferson is scaring us a little bit this year. Quarterback situation is really frightening. Let me just take the guy that is out there doing it and in a more stable situation, which is kind of wild to think about. But I don't.
If you're the 4th or 5th place team, I just don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a good.
I mean,
strategy.
That could vault you into the 1st or 2nd place team, going from JJ to JSN in your starting lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I mean, if that's your one weakness, I guess. I just think that trade could just look terrible next year.
Well, it definitely could.
Yeah, it
I mean,
could.
there's a really good chance.
See,
I
I
just
don't,
wouldn't
I don't
do
know
that.
if there is, because as a dynasty community, it's not going to take much more before Justin Jefferson, I'm not going to use the word plummets, but ends up at the bottom of that elite tier of receivers. 27.
I think he's going to be out of it after the season.
Yeah, 27 coming into next year. That is
Out
the
of the
scary
elite tier, huh?
Yeah, I think he's
if
going to be
they
like
don't-
right on the cuff of
Yeah.
it. If he doesn't fix this thing in the next, sometime between 12 and 18, then it's gonna be pretty nasty for him
And I
in the
mean,
offseason.
he got
kind of
lucky that Drake London got hurt, because the names of Drake London, Emeka Egbuka, and T-Mac could all easily jump him this offseason if things were to stay the way they were. Now, London getting hurt is going to stop that most likely, but I mean, those three names, if they keep producing or were to keep producing, could absolutely jump a 27-year-old Justin Jefferson this offseason if they don't see some kind of QB improvement over these next, 7 games.
He's going to be a staple of my lineups, if that's true.
The one thing I will say about Justin Jefferson that is maybe makes you feel a little bit more comfortable if you have him is this is not a system issue, right? It's not a target issue. His targets since week 4, 11, 11, 10, 11, 9, 12, 9, or 9, 12, 9. So, I mean, he's seeing at least 9 targets a game since week 4. It's just bad quarterback play. That's literally all it is. So even if we see a mediocre improvement from JJ McCarthy, if he goes from one of the worst quarterbacks in the league to just league average, I think we see prime Justin Jefferson again. And I think that's very possible. But it's also just as possible that this continues into next season and we're saying, hey, what the hell are you guys doing at quarterback going into next year?
I think it would be insane for them not to bring in some kind of competition for McCarthy.
So as an unfortunate Panthers fan at times, Panthers Twitter has let me know that the 26 free agent quarterback class is absolutely atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
Once Daniel Jones is re-signed in Indy, which he will be since they traded their first, he's going to be re-signed. There's nothing of even halfway starter level quarterback play available.
So they can make a trade
for
Mac
Kyler.
Jones?
Yeah, Matt.
No,
I mean
not
that's really all you're getting. Like it's bad, man. It's gonna be a rough offseason for teams that don't have quarterbacks.
Jameis, Flacco.
Yeah, none of those are really making me feel much better about my Justin Jefferson dynasty outlook.
I know. They have to find an answer. They can't go into next season without some kind of competition for him.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they address that in the draft and grab one of these guys. That I think there's going to be several quarterbacks that are talked about in the mid first round, late first round range, and they may have to go and reach for a guy there and just give him some competition that way, because there's not going to be much. There's not going to be much.
Shador's going to be starting in Cleveland, sir.
Yeah. So speaking of Shador, this is a little off topic, but I just have a quick question for you guys. I offered Shador for Stafford today, and the guy laughed at me and wrote a paragraph on why that was a ridiculous offer.
Does it hurt your feelings?
No, of course not.
Okay.
But I just wanted to know how ridiculous it was. I expected him to counter with Shador plus a pick. Whether
why didn't you send it?
Well, because I didn't want to.
Because that's what you told me. Whenever I said that, I expected you to counter back with a pick, and you told me my offer was stupid, so that's why.
When was that?
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Was that bad of an offer? That's what I'm asking.
It would take a second with Shador from what we saw last week. Yeah.
All right. Cool. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Chad, anything else with this?
So yeah, one other thing I just want to ask you guys about, just because it's we plugged JSN into the keep trade cut calculator just to see what kind of consensus was on him, see if our opinions kind of jived with it. He's really, really expensive right now. Really expensive. Some of the stuff we were seeing as far as what they were saying, Justin Jefferson and Marvin Harrison Jr. was a fair deal.
Laporta was another one. Kyron.
Yeah. How are you guys seeing him right now? Like, if you have him, if that's his price from me, right? Even if I'm a contending roster, like let's say I'm second, third best team in the league, I'm thinking about selling him at that price.
If I got that offer, yeah, probably. But
Who, JSN?
Yeah.
I'd have to consider it.
I mean, if I got JJ and MHJ, yes, I'm selling for that.
Yes.
But I
Well,
can't
especially,
imagine
yeah.
I get that.
No,
Especially
yeah,
if it's another player that's playing.
Well,
You
I
know,
don't even care if MHJ give me a couple weeks off. That's fine.
No,
but
yeah, him fine. But like if you're talking about a player that's on IR, that might be difficult. But
it's just hard. It's hard for me to believe that that's true. Like I want to test it in a few leagues and see what's going on. I know Keep Trade Cut they do their stuff off consensus, right? I don't use them that much,
Yeah.
but okay. So yeah, if they use their stuff off consensus, then people are obviously valuing him there, or somebody is, right? So maybe that's something I'm going to test this week because I do have a couple shares of him. But man, it's kind of nuts to me. I just that's like prime Chase value basically.
I mean, the thing is, he's producing like it. That is one thing about it, is the production is there every week. I mean, he's not 24 yet. So, outside of the other, the big three, the CD, JJ, and Chase, I mean, they're all going to be 26 or 27. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like prime, I'm talking about like that's prime Chase.
Yeah.
Like that's,
yeah, but what I'm saying is that's kind of where we're at with JSN, is he's in his prime for Dynasty. So, and he's producing at Chase level for production. I mean, it's kind of what you're going to get. It's what it's going to cost to get him from some people.
Yeah, for me, it's not just about production, right? Like it's one of those things where I'm talking about with Chase, like with Chase, the premium for him, for me at least, I always saw it as he was giving you the Chase production, obviously, but with that, he was one of the safest assets in Dynasty, period, just because of the player he is. Do we see JSN as a like prime Chase player? Like, is he that kind of player? Because I don't see that, but I mean, maybe I'm just lower on him than other people are.
I mean,
I think, but he's got the stability in the situation. Sorry, is what I think.
Yeah.
Just having Darnold there for
That's fair.
3 years, that's what I like.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he was one of the most prospect fatigued players I remember coming out of college. As a freshman, I mean, he was outdoing Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave, and we all loved both of those players. I mean, both of them said he was the best player they've ever played with at the receiver position. So, I mean, there's a reason that he is what he was in college at Ohio State. And once he finally got any kind of target usage in the NFL, what he's doing with it. I mean, so maybe he is, but in the Dynasty community as a whole, no, Chad, I agree with you. He isn't a Jamar Chase safety floor, but he could be for production.
So I think you guys know that I've always been the highest on JSN here. I was very high on him coming out. I have tons of shares of him as a result. I don't think I think he's so good. He's just a great player. He's an elite level player, but he's just not Jamar Chase. There's a special quality to players like Chase. Malik Neighbors could get there, but I just don't think that in people's minds, no, I don't think that JSN could ever get to that level. There's just a special quality to it.
I think it's
and also I don't think he's
as
some swag, and I just don't think he's as good a player. Flat out, there are very few players in the world that I would say are as good as Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I think Jamar Chase is arguably the best player in the league. So that's it's a really high bar. But that's why I always viewed the premium on that. That's why I was shocked when I saw the consensus value on JSN is. I say that, doing a little quote thing on my fingers for those listening, because I don't know if that's true or not, just because the trade calculator says it, but I'm just taking it at face value if they're saying they're using consensus data. Anyways, maybe test in your leagues and see what people are thinking, because that is that's very high valuation.
We're also talking theoretical, right? So go ahead and try and trade for JSN, and that owner's going to just think you're crazy for even trying.
Yep.
Well, I'm talking about selling, right? So,
okay.
I mean, if that's his value,
I can.
Like, if that's his value, I would sell. Like, that's what I'm getting at.
JHF and MHJ,
Yeah, that's a pretty wild price, and that was just one of the options that they threw out there that said was fair. But
for example, like in Einstein's, I have JSN and I'm in second place and struggling to try to catch Mike in first place. Am I gonna trade my best wide receiver in that situation for someone that I don't think is going to produce as well? I'm not going to do that.
You wouldn't. So right now, if I had Marvin Harrison and Justin Jefferson in Einstein, and I said I'll give you Marvin Harrison and Justin Jefferson for JSN right now, you wouldn't do it.
Of course I would.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Because if that's what I'm saying,
but
is
I'm
the
not going to go out and shop.
that.
I'm not going to go out and shop him. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. For that price, I will. But anyways, that's beside the point. Trade. This has been the trade banger of the week, guys. Send in your trades. We've seen a little bit of a downtick in the trades sent in. Quality's been super high. We always appreciate that. Understand we did a few weeks of some kind of personal trades here, and we've had some fun with that. But we do want to get back to your guys' trades, so please send them in to us. We appreciate it always. You can get those to us at dynfo.official@gmail.com. And also, join the Discord. Send them in there. That's cool, too. We can talk about them as well. This has been Trade Banger.
All right, y'all. This is the trade deadline. This is for your Dynasty League trade deadline special show or spectacular to be determined by the end of the show. So what our goal here is just to give you targets either in a rebuild or a contender at the deadline. This is your last chance. So who are the players that you need to get rid of? Who are the players that you want to acquire? And who are the players you just don't understand their value? So let's figure all that out. We all brought our thoughts on it. I'm already talking, so I'm just going to lead it off if you guys don't mind. I want to talk about Tucker Kraft. So if you're a contender and you have Tucker Kraft on your IR, obviously it's a prime piece to dangle out there to put something into your lineup, especially in tight end premium leagues. We usually talk 0.5 premium, so adjust up or down according to your league. If you're a rebuilder, is this somebody that you're targeting?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so I was talking to somebody and we agreed that he was basically even value with Bucky Irving. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
It was a 0.75 league, but it was also, there's, I think, running back scale at 1.25 per reception. So a little extra bonus for both, really. So I guess that it kind of evens out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, seems reasonable. So right kind of tier.
Yeah.
Right tier. Okay.
I
So
agree.
you're not worried about the injuries for either one of these guys?
I mean, you might be equally worried about both if we're going to be honest, but
That's my question, is whether they're a target for you or not. So let's talk Bucky Irving a little bit. That team's a contender, and he was looking at picking up Bucky Irving. Would you guys do that?
yeah, because if I'm a contender without Bucky Irving and I lose Kraft, I would not think he's going to be out the rest of the season. So if I can go and plug in Bucky Irving to my flex come week 14, 15, 16, and 17, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Whereas I'm not going to be able to with Kraft, no matter what.
There's a 0% chance Kraft scores you any points. There's a pretty good chance Bucky could do pretty well for you down the stretch, even mediocre if needed.
Chad, what do you think about that?
Yeah, at first I was like, it's there's probably some better options out there as far as shopping Kraft, but to be honest with you, Rashad White's not been great. So if Rashad White was playing well, then maybe I'd be a little bit more nervous because I think they might take it slowly with him. But Tampa's got to win games, right? So I think they're going to play the better player, give him his touches as long as he's healthy.
As if Sean Tucker doesn't even exist.
He had his one Sean Tucker of the year game.
I guess. Oh, just go ahead.
Well, what I was getting to was basically Bucky's Bucky, right? The schedule looks nice. If he comes back and he plays, I really, really, really like him as a postseason contributor on a contending roster. Personally,
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question. What do you think, Mike?
I was going to say the only thing that would give me hesitation is if all the other tight ends on my roster were ancient. So if I had like a Kelsey, a Zach Ertz, something like that, like granted, you're getting something in your tight end spot, but you don't know what that is after this year. Trading away one of the possibly top 4 or 5 dynasty tight ends, like if I had someone serviceable, I would be less likely to do this, especially if they're older. If I had a younger one, like I don't know, I don't want to say Sam Laporta because he's hurt now.
Let's say Loveland.
Yeah, I'd do it for Bucky and try to get someone like Ertz, to be honest. On top of Bucky, maybe I could make that.
Yeah, it's not a bad call. All right. I ended up not doing it because it just didn't make sense for my roster. I need running back more than I need tight end. So I'm the one with Bucky. So I held Bucky, but I thought the value was pretty fair. And that was with Matt VIP, by the way. We almost made a deal. Believe it or not.
Wow.
I think Bucky's going to be, if you're not really in the race right now, I would say hold Bucky a little bit longer. You made it this far.
Yeah.
Wait for the return. Wait for him to start putting up points. Because, he's a hell of a player, right? Like, we know what he is. So when he starts putting up those numbers and starts getting off those highlight reel runs that we know he can, I think the price on him is gonna skyrocket pretty quickly. Get back to where it was, this offseason.
Okay, cool. All right, those were my first two. Who wants to go next?
Let's see Chad's.
You go first, Austin.
Okay. I'm going to kind of group together my vet buys at receiver. Sutton, Pittman, Diggs, and Olave. 4 of them are relatively the same price point for me, a second and a little bit. Obviously, Olave is going to cost a little bit more, but every league you're not going to be able to buy just the one I said, so I'm kind of grouping them all together for that. Go target one of those guys on a team that is either in 8th place right now or isn't smart and is in 12th place and haven't moved those guys. One of those guys should be available if you're dealt with Garrett Wilson getting hurt, losing Drake London. You can plug one of these guys in and, your season's not over. Anybody else agree with that? It sucks. Good job.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did you have Olave?
Yeah, he was the last one, but he's not in the same price point. I said all but Olave, or my second plus a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'd take Pittman out of that group is probably my top. Just, I guess the way I look at it a lot of times is if I'm getting something next year as well, if I'm giving up a pick. But if I'm just like, let's spike points onto this and who cares about next year, then I'm going after Adams.
Yeah, I was gonna say Adams is the number one for me for where he's producing, and Puka's dealing with nicks and dings all the time, and Stafford's playing at MVP level. So,
also, I think Diggs is sneaky on this because I think they could ramp him up.
That too. Yeah, he's all ramped up now, I think.
Yeah.
It's like
honestly,
85%.
all 4 of them feel great. Like, I love having one of those guys in my flexes or my wide receiver 3 option.
You guys think you can get Pittman for a second?
A second plus something. That's kind of what I've been saying. Like, that's honestly all 4 of them. I think it takes a second plus something that somebody likes, whether it's a cheaper receiver or cheaper running back. Like,
Sutton might be just a second right now. He hasn't done a lot.
I think Sutton's just
recently.
a second.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't trade Pittman for less than 2 seconds, personally.
I would want, unless it was, if I got a high second.
If it's
something I was guaranteed to be a high second, I'd give Pittman up for that.
Yeah. He just looks so good. He just looks so good. And he's still just 28, so he's got some time left.
Sutton is that same kind of player, though. I mean, they de-emphasized him the last few weeks, but he could definitely, are they going to just keep prioritizing Troy Franklin?
Yeah. I think the difference is Sutton's age, right? Sutton's 30, so it's one of those things where, he's...
And Pittman's what, 28?
28, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a difference for sure. Yeah. Pittman is definitely high on this list. If I thought I could get him for like a second and a third, like a random second and a third.
I do that all day. I do that in every single league if I could. If you've got a league where you can get them first, second, and a little bit more, I'd do it. I don't think it's impossible. I'm not saying that Austin's valuation is crazy. I think there are some people out there that would definitely give up Pittman first, second, a little bit more. And I'd be on that all day. I think that's a good call out.
All right, cool. Who's next?
I'll go ahead and go. So I group mine in kind of contender buys and rebuild buys, and we kind of discussed it when we talked to Bucks earlier about Bucky, but I like to focus on when I'm making these trades, especially for contending teams. And this isn't always the case, right? But I like to focus more on good offenses, good teams, like teams with actual winning records and that are actually playing for something too. So like we talked about the Bucks or, even Bills and everyone that's in a division race or something right now, kind of focusing on these teams. So I'll do my first two running back contender buys. My first one's Derrick Henry. I think it's going to get cold, and people don't like to tackle Derrick Henry when it's cold. And I think he can ramp up. This is an end of the line kind of thing, so I think a second should get it done. But I was looking at his seasons, and he finishes that as an RB1 the last 5 games of the season over half the time. So like he's getting you. Obviously, we know he's high end when he gets it there, and the Ravens are in the thick of trying to get back in their division race. So I think he's an easy one there. I don't know if I'd pay a first for him. I'd try to do a second, maybe something on top if I had to get it done. But he's one I really like as a contender. And then the other one's just Aaron Jones. And this is one that I think could be one of the cheapest RB buys you could get. I'd be looking to do a late second or maybe an early third plus something, because he looks actually pretty good considering coming off the injury. But obviously the offense is sputtering, but he's getting a lot more involved, and he's 11 plus points in his last 3 games. So, if I'm paying that for a flex, I feel like that's something, I'm willing to do if I'm getting desperate with these, I don't know, this whole injury plagued season, it feels like.
Yeah,
So,
not a bad call.
Yeah, I like it. I'm definitely not paying a first for Henry. No chance. I go by
No, those days
Chase
are over.
Brown.
Yeah.
Chase Brown is fine. I'd rather pay that.
So, speaking of Chase Brown, we've talked about him ad nauseum actually over the last few weeks, but I just wanted to kind of follow up on last week. Mike and I, like when we talked about him, Mike and I started to talk about making a deal, and then right when we ended the podcast, we made a deal just to talk about value. I gave Mike Jalen Noel, Elijah Arroyo, and a 27 second.
27 second, yeah.
Yeah, for Chase Brown.
Nice.
I like
Solid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. Just to help people with values.
All right, Chad.
All right,
you
Chad.
Yeah, you guys have taken a lot of the good ones here, but one that I don't think has been mentioned is Saquon. I'm really, really, really excited about the potential to get him right now as a contender. The last 2 weeks have been rough, to say the least. I think they're and before that they had their bye before those 2 games, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty decent kind of stretch here where we haven't seen Saquon do anything of note. And I've gotten him off of 2 contenders in the last 4 weeks. I've gotten him off of 2 contenders. Like as a contender, I bought him from a different contender because they just don't believe in him going forward. And I've paid a first and a third in both of those deals.
Nice.
So
I like that.
yeah, he's definitely acquirable, and his schedule for the rest of the season isn't bad, right? It's not great, but it's not bad. And like I said, those last 2 games he had was against Green Bay and Detroit. Like if you didn't expect him to struggle in those, then you haven't been paying attention this season, because those are 2 really, really good rush defenses. But he's got the Chargers. Las Vegas is another kind of tough rush defense, but then he has Washington and Buffalo in the playoffs there, which you can run against those teams. So I'm excited about it. I think he's a good option if you just have to give up a first and a little bit more, and the potential for him to give you some production next season, even if it's not what we expect out of Saquon, is there, right?
So I have a team that I've entered a rebuild this season, WZ Patreon 10, where I'm selling Saquon. Had a owner indicate interest, so I sent out Saquon for Tucker Kraft straight up, and then Saquon for a first and a second.
I would love to
that's-
get Kraft selling Saquon. I would love that.
Yeah. I'm a little surprised you didn't take that.
Well, they're both out there. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Jesse, in 10 words or less, how do you feel about the Eagles' offensive line situation with the injuries and things like that? Do you think it's going to work itself out, or are you kind of worried about that? That's kind of my one.
The key sentence was in 10 words or less.
In 10 words or less.
That was the key.
In 10 seconds or less. How about that?
I mean, how in the heck would I know? I mean, we're talking about injuries, so
that's 10.
It's been really
good. I mean, I feel like he struggled, right? Because the line has been in and out with injuries and stuff all year. So, do we think it's going to continue? I mean,
even when they were all together, he wasn't really good, to be honest. I mean, let's be honest.
Mike, I think you're focusing on the wrong thing. I've been telling you guys what's wrong the entire year, and it's the offensive coordinator and the scheme. I'm not the only one that's saying this.
No, it is Geno Smith's fault.
That is true. That is true.
And Chip Kelly for tipping his plays.
Yeah, it's Chip Kelly's fault still.
Chip Kelly's he's been tipping their plays, and he's been tipping the Eagles' plays.
Seriously, ask my wife. I sit on the couch and go, run, pass, run, pass. And I'm right 90% of the time. It's ridiculous. So I've counted 5 play actions in the last 3 weeks. When you have, so every other offense in the league, every other good offense in the league, bases their entire offense on play action. So many teams run play action. Detroit as their base. The Eagles just won't do it. It's just insane
way
how
longer
bad.
Than 10 seconds.
Yeah, you've gone way too far.
I just stop asking questions about the offensive or about the Eagles offense and just understand that the scheme is terrible. The offense
it's not going to get better.
I did tell you guys several weeks ago that this was going to be his season.
You, Jesse, or
you guys, all you guys, and you guys told me it was going to get better. Saquon will be Saquon by the end of the year.
No, you guys in this thing. I've been
you were in there too.
Since you
were in there too.
No, he's anti old people all the way. You're over 25.
I said buy him for his cost, which was a first. That's what I said. I'm never.
No, Austin, you're misremembering. Saquon. We got it on tape. I'll show you after the pod. We got it on tape. Guys, go back and listen to the podcast, and then send Austin messages about how he was wrong.
So he is still Saquon, and he is going to eat up teams like Dallas and Buffalo and Washington. So you're going to have good spike games out of him. But
yeah,
unless the OC gets demoted and Sirianni takes over and somehow is good, which he's never been, there's not a lot of hope.
Yeah. I think for first, it's going to be a decent move because he's going to hold some value still, even at 28 years old. Going in next season.
I expect it to be really good next year.
It's for the next season is really what my whole point was originally when buying Saquon was even if he doesn't do it this year, 28 coming into next year, you're still going to have Saquon for a single first. That's definitely worth it. Jesse, who you got next?
All right. Next up, I may have missed the window on Burrow and Flacco. See, I just saw that Burrow's taking all first team reps.
Okay. Yeah, you've missed that.
Yeah. All right. So let's just move on to the next one is Rico Dowdle. My first question is, if you're a non-contender, either rebuilder or your middle of the pack fell out of the playoffs, do you have to trade Dowdle? Do you feel like you have to trade Dowdle for a second or two? Or can you just hold him?
No,
for 2, yes.
I should have held him.
For 2 seconds, yes. I don't think his value ever eclipses that.
But for
a single second, if it's not top 4-ish pick in the second round, just see if he goes somewhere next year that is exciting and he gets a chance.
He could stay in Carolina.
He could. I don't think they do, but he could.
Wow.
I don't see it.
If
I
they
don't see
have
them
more than
spending.
one option, they go somewhere else.
Yeah, well,
my goodness.
Well, I don't see them allocating more money to that position.
Considering how much they owed you, but yeah.
And I mean, he's already over 1,000 scrimmage yards. He's going to want his contract right now. He's 27.
He hasn't made
the other options?
He hasn't made that much money, so someone's going to want his services.
Well, so what are the other options? You go back to Chuba and hope Brooks gets healthy? Or
yeah, Brooks, ETN, and you draft another late guy. I mean, they've been pretty good drafting overall as a franchise these last couple of years, finally. So
or just find another Dowdle.
Yeah, exactly.
Else.
I mean, you don't pay him $8 million a year. That's what you don't do as that franchise. So
that's something the Dolphins might do.
Yeah, I mean, I could see plenty of places he works. So, I mean, that's why a second, I'm fine with that. I think it's a good chance you get another year of production out of him next year. And he should still be the lead guy the remainder of this year. So, second's totally fine.
Would you rather have him or DeAndre Swift? If you're spending your second, your second and you have to throw in a third, if that's what it is.
I don't know. Somebody else go.
I think I'd rather have Swift as a contender.
It's pretty even for me.
Yeah, either one. I mean, I don't. Yeah, they're fine.
Then we also just discussed Swift, right?
Yeah.
So does that also apply to Swift? Do you have to trade him, or do you think you hold him and see what happens next year?
If I was rebuilding, I would absolutely trade him.
I'd trade him.
Do you have to for a second?
If I'm a contender and I can trade him for a second, I'm probably doing it. He's not offering you game changing points. He's getting you like 11, 12 points a week. He's a very replaceable player.
He's not going up anywhere this offseason, no matter what he does the rest of the way. I feel.
Yeah.
So if you're a rebuilder, you feel like that second is just take it and run.
Yeah, I mean, I'd do it if I'm anybody, to be honest.
All right, so let me preface this as a duh moment, but if the person who has CMC and JT is in that middle of the pack and somehow isn't in the contender, fish for it. I've gotten lucky in a league, so pay attention to your leagues. Not everybody that has them is not first or second. So I want to go ahead and preface that for the RB position. That's obviously the number one buy guys for that position. That being said, my number one buy is sneaky, and it's Brian Robinson Jr. Coming off of CMC. His usage is ridiculous. We've unfortunately seen it time in and time again. If CMC goes down, B-Rob is going to be a league winner for somebody. So his price is extremely cheap. I mean, it should be a throw-in any trade. Find some two players in the same tier and get B-Rob thrown in. And, I mean, it may do nothing for you. Or in week 15, he's taking you to the semifinals or championship.
I love it.
I like it.
Yeah.
One I did not think of.
Good call. Yeah, I have 2 CMC shares and I have Brian Robinson back him up.
Of course
him
you
up
do.
In both places.
Duh.
That's a high priority handcuff right there,
Backup
baby.
king. Handcuff king right there.
That's right. Make fun of me until Amari Hampton goes down and I have 7 Kamani Vidal shares. All right. Chad or Mike, you're next.
Yeah, so this one's kind of sneaky and you got to look at your scoring. If you get any kind of points for return yards, whether it's punt return or kick return, I feel like this is important because it's changed this year, right? So you're getting a lot more returns because of where teams are starting. So like Malik Washington in Marvel is where he gets points, right? And so he's got 10 plus points in 5 of the last 6 games. And he's getting very subpar receiving work. A lot of it is because of the punt return and kick return. So I would say he's a sneaky buy for me. And especially if you're in a league that gets that punt return and kick return, just because, Tyreek's probably not going to be there next year either, right? So I think we like him. He's fast. He's used in both punt and kick returns. So this is something to consider for a little bit more upside for a cheap player. Like I don't even know if he's worth a second.
Throw in. Yeah.
No, he should
No,
not.
he's not.
I'm just going to add context. Marvel is a league.
Yes.
Is a league.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's an awesome league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike's
Awesome
like,
league.
in Marvel,
It's so awesome. Chad
listeners
left
are
it.
like, what is he talking about?
This
This
is a league
in this universe where you get points.
You're like,
it's a league that Austin runs.
in Marvel, Malik Washington, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. They're not going to know what
Sorry.
we're talking about.
In the Marvel universe.
It's one of the best managed leagues I'm in, so you should know it in the future, listeners. There we go.
So, yeah, I've used Malik Washington as a spot flex here and there in those type of leagues where I get those kick return and punt return yards. The problem I have with buying him is he's a very Mike McDaniel kind of player, and I don't know that either one of I don't know that Mike McDaniel is going to be there next year, and then Malik Washington is just marginalized as a tiny player that the next coach doesn't like.
But again,
That
it
would be
better
my
be a
rating.
throw-in price.
Yeah, it has to be a throw.
We're talking about it on top of some of these bigger names that we're talking.
But I do really like him as a player. Chad.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with the most obvious buy, probably this entire show. Brian Thomas Jr.
There you go.
You gotta test your leagues, guys. Like, I've gotten him for some ridiculously cheap prices this season. And the longer this goes on, the longer the injuries happen, the longer just he's not out there scoring points. It's only going to get more enticing for these guys to just say, okay, I'm just going to, try not to get caught with the bag here and get what I can get. I've gotten him for a first and a little bit more. So
What kind of first?
Yeah, I'm like mid to late, like in that, somewhere between 6 and 8 range, kind of pretender, competitor leagues or teams. Those are the kind of teams I'm looking for, because I still think he's going to offer you something next season. I just think he's too good of a player not to. I'm willing to take the bet on it. And if I can get him, for that price and say, hey, he's my pick. I like him better than Carnell Tate. I like him better than I like him even better than Tyson, to be honest with you. So just as a prospect. So yeah, that's just where I'm at right now. I would give him up for any player I'm getting in that range.
Wow, teasing next week's show already.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would still buy Brian Thomas at that price. Absolutely. I believe in him as a player. I was very high on him as a prospect, and I still think he's an excellent player. He'll get out of his head, and he'll get healthy, and he'll be excellent.
Yeah. What's crazy is even in the leagues where I got turned down, because I offered him and I sent offers out on him in a bunch of leagues, not last week but the week before, and even in the leagues I got declined on, there was like a couple people that messaged me and basically were saying like, I know that's his price, but I just can't sell him for that price. Yeah. So there's even like this,
that's what I've gotten.
Yeah, there's even like this come to terms with, hey, we understand there's not going to be anybody that's like a first and a second or a first and a third. What are you doing? I think people kind of realize this is where we're at.
It's quite sad.
Yeah. All right. So, we're getting close to the end of the show, guys. We're going to have to wrap up soon. So, yeah, pick your last one and we'll go through it. For me, I'm going to skip a couple of my guys and go to my last two are guys that you might get really, really cheap as a rebuilder. And even as anyone. Jahan Dotson and Wan'Dale Robinson are both unrestricted free agents at the end of the year. And in Wan'Dale Robinson's case, he could either go to a better situation. I mean, just imagine he signed with like Buffalo or KC. That would be amazing. Or he just stays there with Dart and is a compliment to neighbors and it all starts working out. He's still very cheap. Dotson is blocked by 2 other players now, and I expect him to leave the Eagles. I really expect him to leave the Eagles. And I think he could be a good second player on a good team. For what you could get him for, he might even be on waivers in some of your leagues, but I think a third gets him all day. I don't know that you even have to pay a third. Like 2/4 you might be able to get Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, and I'd probably sell him for a fourth if somebody asked me.
I would take it. I would buy him for a fourth all day just for the chance that he signs somewhere and is a starter. I still think he's a good player. I think he could be a good number 2.
Yeah, I mean,
Austin,
we saw it. I'm going to go to the tight end position, and as a rebuilder for one and a retooler for the other. The rebuilder, Isaiah Likely, been a down year for him. A lot of people are really high for him in Dynasty, and he just hasn't done it this year. But Andrews is likely gone. Likely should be there next year. So I think we could see a nice value increase for him. Price is way cheaper than what it was. And for the retooler, David Njoku, again, somebody that's likely going to leave situations. We've seen, basically insane production from him throughout the past couple of years. So when he leaves there's a good chance he goes to somewhere that's going to try to center point him, be a focal point of the offense. So 2 guys I think are really depressed value currently that, by next August or September, we're looking at a clear tight end 1 on a roster.
Right on. So what do you think you could get Likely for? 3rd?
I don't think it's going to be that cheap. I think you're probably going to have to move a player that is around that price point. Like, I don't think you can just send a 3rd and get Likely unless it's like a shallow league where people are struggling for, roster spots. But I mean, that late, if you're the top team in the league, you're basically a lock for pick 11 or 12. Send your 2nd. It's going to get done. And you're at 211, 212 from the scouting, little scouting that I've done in this class. There are not 23 or 24 guys that I'm excited for. So take the guy I think has a pretty good opportunity to, see a good, pretty strong value increase over the next 6 months.
All right. Michael.
All right, yeah, I'll rapid fire some here. So for my contender buys, for tight end, I do like Kelsey. He's only had 3 weeks where he's not a tight end 1. And then Kittle, I know we talked to him last week, but since he's been back from his injury, he's 23 catches on 24 targets, 226 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he's been tight end 2 the last 2 weeks. So I think it's a great buy. And then for our boy Nath, we have to talk Achane. He's another expensive one, but he does have Cincinnati in the semifinals and Tampa Bay in the finals. So you want to talk about some opportunities to score points. I think that's pretty good for Achane. And then for rebuild, just some obvious ones are Neighbors. Kendre Miller is one that I like. Someone that's injured, out of sight, out of mind. Kamara's not doing much of anything. So talking next year. Terrence Ferguson, I do like for the Rams. Noah Gray as a throw-in. This is Kelsey's last year. And then Drake London, if this injury lingers,
yes,
I think is something that you could definitely look at. He's got the same injury that Pearsall had, and it took him a while. So he wants to be optimistic, but Falcons aren't going anywhere anytime soon. So I don't know if they're going to rush him back. And same thing with Jane Daniels. There's no reason for them to rush him back from injury. So if he's someone you can get on a rebuild, I would actually do that as well.
As a rebuilder, there's so many players you should be able to take advantage of value right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
you really got to look at
guys.
those. Yeah, just look at those top teams and see who's on their IR, who's on their out.
Yeah, the amount of them that I have, London, Garrett Wilson, those kind of players on that I would love to flip for somebody in a similar tier to get me production. I would do it in a heartbeat. I've sent a lot of offers out and gotten some done. So yeah, that's a great call, Mike.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson was one of the ones that I'm very adamant about. If anywhere I can get Garrett Wilson, I'm trying to get him. Man, he just looks
Absolutely.
like a heck of a player, every single year. And now Justin Fields is benched. If he does come back this season, maybe you can flip him pretty early. So who knows? Colston Loveland for me is just a guy I've been targeting everywhere. I think people don't know what to do with him. I can get him. I've been able to get him really cheap.
Really? Oh gosh, I've tried for the past 3 weeks. And I can't get him.
Yeah, it was tough after that big kind of breakout game, but he hasn't had another one of those games since. So I've been trying again, but really it was before that game where I was even talking to you guys about it in the group chat. I was getting them everywhere. I think I'd gotten 4 shares in 1 week before that game had happened. But yeah, I would still try to target him because he's just not a priority in the offense yet. But he's one of those things with Dalton Kincaid. You watch these players and they look like really good players. So if or when they do become focal points of the offense, man, he's gonna go off. He's gonna go off, and his name brand value is very high as well. So that's something that is always has to be played into the equation there.
All right, awesome, guys. All right, thanks for joining us. I think that was pretty awesome. What's the vote? Chad Spectacular, show, or special?
Let's go special. We always want room for improvement, right?
Mike?
Yeah, we're all special here.
Yeah, I like
special.
that. Yeah,
All
special sounds good.
All right, we're going to call it the special. All right, gentlemen, anything good this week? Watch anything good?
Wicked for Good. That's a perfect transition. Sorry, I saw it with my 2 daughters last night.
Is that the sequel to Wicked?
The sequel, yeah, the musical. I know you guys want to hear everything about it. I was actually disappointed.
If you sing it to me, I'll listen to it.
It drags. Okay, I'll do that. Like, sing my review right now?
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm totally. I am not going to sing on a recorded podcast. That won't happen.
Man.
That won't happen. But you almost got me.
Yeah, we almost got him. We're going to get him to eat dog food one day, too.
Yeah,
What? I don't know. Just things we can get Mike to do on air.
Jeez, I'll do just about anything. I don't know about the last 2. Yeah, a little disappointed, though. Drug on a little bit. I don't like to leave to go to the bathroom during movies, and there was like a part where I was like, this is really slow. Like, girls, I know you got to go. Like, let's go, because this is really long. But they liked it. I guess they cried during part of it. I laughed hilariously during like one part of it. A couple parts where like I burst out laughing out loud that wasn't supposed to be funny. But nobody else in the theater laughed. Because
isn't that the most embarrassing thing?
It was, but then I did it again. So there were like 2 points of that movie, and I'm like, sorry, no one else thinks this is completely ridiculous. Like, now granted, it's based off like a Wizard of Oz type of movie and whatever. But also just another interesting thing about it, and I don't have any personal vendetta against Ariana Grande or Cynthia Erivo, but they're 2 people that I really enjoy them in the movies, but I'm just not a big fan of them as outside of, like in the real world, I guess you could say, which I can't think of too many movies where I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed that movie and I enjoy that actor, but I don't really like them.
Did they leave you with the check at lunch or something?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know either one of them.
Well, I don't know them, but their interviews are like weird. Like, really, they just seem like not great people.
I've never seen an Ariana Grande.
Well, okay, I only do because of this movie, all right? But like, she like stole, quote unquote, like this one lady's husband that plays in the movie. Like, he left her for Ariana Grande, and it's like very publicly known. And so I'm like, you're kind of a piece of garbage. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like I said, I don't know her.
We've lost every Ariana Grande viewer.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Mike is a Swiftie, so what
I'll
do
get
you
the
expect?
Swifties back. Yeah, there we go.
Mike's a Swiftie.
That's why.
I'm
That's why
Ariana
it's
Grande
anti-Ariana.
neutral. I'm Switzerland. I'm
not even sure who she is.
I'll actually balance this out. I love Ariana Grande. I'll balance it out. I love her. She's great.
She's great as Glinda, and she was good in the movie. I'm just saying, I don't know a lot of movies where I'm like, I love them in the movie. Outside of the movie, I'm like, huh?
I think I've heard like
And
one
that's how I
Christmas
feel.
song from her that
Answer this.
I like that song.
Is she the same person as Selena Gomez or not?
No,
They're both
different.
female singers, but yeah.
Okay. Every pop singer,
I like
it's
Selena
so
Gomez.
hard for me to tell the difference.
Selena Gomez is
It's
great.
so hard.
You guys got to stop killing on these pop stars because
If
we
you're
need
ready, come and
we
get
need
it.
viewers. So we'll take everybody we can get.
True.
Taylor
Sure.
Swift.
We've been watching this show, The Beast in Me. It's Claire Danes. It's on Netflix. It's pretty intense. I think her neighbor's a murderer.
Okay.
She's a writer.
Okay.
That's about it. My main reason
That's-
for bringing this up, though, has anyone else noticed that Claire Danes has turned into an old man?
I don't know who that is.
I
so
don't
no.
know who that is.
You don't? Oh, she was in, what was it called? Homeland?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that.
Mandy Patinkin. Oh my goodness. She was in that CIA. She was like a CIA agent.
Jesse,
know
do
who
you
Ariana
actually
Grande
like when
is, but-
And,
He reads the credits.
Shows those the credits. Do you actually read those?
He
No.
memorizes them.
I feel like you
puts
have to
notes in
because you name every actor, actress in a show or movie, and I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. I have
He's
to look
like,
them up
and
every
Jeffrey
time.
Wilson does the art set design. No bells.
He did that
whole
one
thing
show.
was
You
filmed
don't
in
remember that?
Austria, didn't you know?
I mean, if you don't know who Mandy Patinkin is, come on. I mean, there's Gen Xers everywhere.
You don't know who Ariana Grande is. Like, I know all of our listeners would say that's far worse than whoever Patinka or whatever you said.
Gen Xers unite, please.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at a picture, and I still don't necessarily know who he is.
What is his name?
Oh, it's a
There it
guy.
What
Mandy
is
Patinkin's
his
a guy?
name?
Patinkin.
Who?
Is it
Mandy
a guy?
Patinkin is a guy. Yes, he's been in
Mandy
so many
Patinkin.
shows and movies.
Mandy's a guy name.
He's a guy.
Oh, I know I've seen him in something.
I've
Now let
seen
me look
him,
at a
but,
movie
like-
that I know I've seen him in.
I want to look
He's
him
in The
up now.
Princess Bride.
He's in The Princess Bride. He's Inigo Montoya.
Oh, I think I've vaguely seen him.
Now that makes sense.
You have
Okay.
6 fingers on your left hand. Prepare
With
to
my
die.
father.
What have I seen him in?
There we go. If you had led with that, I would have understood.
I forgot. He's been in so many things.
I think I've seen him in Elmo. I'm just kidding. I saw him in the credits for Elmo.
I thought I saw the Smurfs. I was like, are you Smurfs? Or?
He was in Elmo in '99, apparently.
I'm not gonna go with anything I watched yet, but tomorrow I'm going to see Duke play, so pretty excited about that.
In
Ooh,
person?
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
in Cameron,
Who are they
Yeah.
playing?
Niagara. I don't really care who they're playing. I
Niagara?
get to go.
Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a nobody. I mean, they should win by 50, but going to the
Good.
stadium
That's
is
the
pretty
best kind.
crazy.
Just
Yeah,
see it
exactly.
ball out.
That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, so
You don't want
it's
to have
pretty
to
exciting.
sweat it.
I got no invitation, so
Well, I didn't
Yeah,
get
you
the tickets. So
You got to
I-
give me
I didn't
invites
have
to
a
the
choice.
Texas game
what's that?
next week. Black Friday. And M versus Texas. You got to give me tickets somehow. You're closer to Austin than me. So.
Don't you?
The actual city, Austin, not Austin.
I was going to say,
I was like,
think
you literally
Austin and
work
Mike,
for
you
the
guys are
school,
pretty close
Mike. You
friends.
get me tickets.
I tried. So and my buddy too, like I already reserved a hotel to the SEC championship because he has a student pass and they did the lottery system and he didn't get it. And I was really bummed. Yeah. If they go to the SEC.
We've got to do like some kind of. You got to find out where they do the lottery system. We got to do some kind of covert operation, or we like rig it.
When hack it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'll get me fired.
it's worth it. I mean, it doesn't affect me.
it could be
none,
worth it.
So
Yeah,
it makes
wait,
no
when you get
difference in
fired-
my life.
When you get fired from the Army, don't they call that the stockade or the brig? Don't you get locked up?
No,
That's where they
Jesse.
keep cattle.
Hey,
This
Jesse,
is
hit that button.
stockade.
Dishonorable discharge. This isn't the Civil War. Okay.
Okay.
Jesse, hit that
Gosh.
button.
All right.
He's like,
It's the front office.
Welcome to the
Hey.
front office.
He just said that.
The